And give me that rock. Hey guys, it is Ben, aka the Fuseboxx, to you with a very special me indeed. And she just arrived. It is Mayr. What is
up? You're cutting out a little bit for me, so I don't know if that's on your end or my end.
What?
Okay.
It's probably my end. At the poor man's internet.
You're a little frozen, but it's working. This is great. This is already
that's about the size of it.
What's new?
That's it, yeah. Oh, you know, I'm just meeting famous comedians apparently, you know.
Oh, like who? Anybody I know? Okay, I'm just fixing my lights.
You might
our
know
shit is
her.
all over the
You
place
might.
Here. There we go. Fuseboxx! Woo!
Want to set up like yours, like my.
You can do it.
What
you can do
has
it.
been
find
going
a
on
corner
with you
not,
lately?
Yeah, just find a corner with not that much going on, and yeah, you could do it. What's going on with me? I took the dogs to the park earlier, and then it started to rain a little bit, so we came back, and like Waffles was like a little bit antisocial. Like sometimes if there's a dog that's bigger than her that wants to play, she'll just like go into like yipe 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 mode, and I don't know. It's not even like these dogs are snapping at her. I think she just gets like intimidated by size, which honestly, I guess I understand as a woman. Are you there?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Do I look frozen on your end?
You know?
Do I look frozen
Yes.
to you or okay.
No, you're coming in perfectly.
Okay.
I know it's as I'm putting some course that was
Okay.
everything off.
Do you have Wi-Fi that plugs in? Are you using an Ethernet cord or Wi-Fi? Should we try restarting it?
I'm using Wi-Fi exactly.
Okay.
Let me see. Let me just take myself out.
I like
and
this
I'll try.
background music. Hello, welcome to the Chrissie Mayr show. I am taking over. I'm taking over the Fuseboxx show. I'm here today. Oh, I didn't even light my candle. That's how much in a rush I came here. But we have Hunter Biden here as my co-host. Hunter, do you feel like you will face any consequences for your crazy amount of drug use and shenanigans abroad, your business dealings? No? You don't think so? You think you're going to get off scot-free? I think so too. I think turns out being the president's son is all it's cracked up to be. But he's chilling here with no pants.
Am I any better?
We have a special guest. Welcome to the show, Fuseboxx. Welcome.
Oh, thank you. I appreciate that.
I was just here with Hunter. We were just rapping.
Am I coming in any better?
Slightly better. Yeah.
Oh God. Yeah. It's a Thursday.
It is a Thursday. What's the autumnal situation where you are? Are the leaves falling? Are they changing color?
Oh, they're falling all over the place.
Okay.
People are getting murdered. It's
Really? Where do
typical.
you live? Philly?
New Orleans.
Oh, right. Okay. Now I'm putting it together. Are murders happening like outside the place where you live, or like do you experience a lot of crime on the streets?
I mean, the thing about it is it's so typical that I don't even hear about it. It's just like
Okay.
every once in a while somebody's like, "Oh, somebody got murdered," and I'm like, "Oh, okay, yeah."
Yeah.
So it's
You're just
Tuesday.
over it.
All right.
Yep. I know the feeling.
But yeah, I caught your show when you came in, and I was the guy who brought shit from the grocery store.
Ooh. Oh yeah, that's good. It's always good to have something interesting going on in the crowd to talk about, because there was no food at that club. So what were you going to do? Also, what's really tricky about that Fulton Street area of New Orleans is there is no real place to get coffee close by. So the first night I had to walk all the way over to the Hilton Hotel, go inside the hotel, inside to the hotel bar, and they had iced coffee there that they let me take away in a cup. And then the next day somebody else got me coffee from somewhere, but they had to walk. It was the opener, Brandon. He had to walk like many blocks. So that's a bad area for coffee, is the Fulton Street area.
The Brandon, yeah, he was the first guy that went on.
Yeah. Well, yeah, Sam was the host. And Brandon went on. Let me see if I can find his name. Let's see.
Jesus.
Brandon Bruffett.
Okay.
Yeah. Brandon Buffett Comedy is his Instagram.
I
Bruffett
felt
is
for
such a
him
strange
'cause,
last
like,
name.
I felt for him because everybody was there to see you, and I think they were all like,
Aw.
"Oh, who's this guy?"
It's okay. Yeah, like, it happens. And, like, I've opened for so many people where that was the case, too. Like, I was in Philly, and I thought my opener was, like, a super duper, like, liberal chick, because I just was judging her by how she looked. She had, like, basically a shaved head, tattoos, piercings and stuff. And then I, like, talked to her after the show. Like, I didn't catch her whole set, but she did all right enough. And I talked to her after her set, and she was like, "Yeah, I actually, like, I'm not vaccinated. I'm a big fan. I actually asked to open for you." And I was like, "Oh, fuck. I totally judged you, girl." Like I was on stage telling people, "Yeah, I thought this girl was here to protest the show. I can't believe she's actually, like, on it with me." Like, she looked like every girl I fight with on Twitter. But I'm so glad I talked to her and got to know her. And now we're Instagram buddies. And so, yeah, it was good. Don't always, I mean, you can't help but judge people, but then also talk to them.
Yeah, especially since, like, I was born into a politically mixed family. So it's like half my family is super liberal, half is like super conservative, and there's like a couple who are in the middle. And like growing up in New Orleans, you can't go on Tinder and meet anybody that's not uber left.
Okay.
Like, it's tricky.
Where's your accent if you're raised in New Orleans?
It's here. It's kind of here.
Okay. It's not coming out enough for my liking.
My father's a Yat.
There we go. Yat, that's the slang?
Yep.
Okay. Okay, cool. Would you as a kid like go on swamp tours and things like that? Eat just
I
buckets
did
of shrimp?
I did when I was really young, but I thought it was so fucking boring.
Really?
There's like
Swamped.
nothing out there.
You're just over swamps. Were you going at the right time? Did you have enough marshmallows?
Yeah, I mean, most of the alligators, they just lie around out there. They're super still all the time.
So you want the alligators to be more active? Then you should try to go to Gatorland in Orlando, because there's a ton of gators and they're all like running around and you can feed them. Yeah.
I do like I've been meaning to go to Orlando for a while. I haven't found the time.
It's a good, yeah, it's a good to-do list item.
See, I have never been where you're from, up there in New York. I've never been.
I wonder if it's cheaper to come here now because they should be more desperate for tourism, but I haven't checked. I would have thought that the rents would have gone down a lot in New York for the same reason. Everybody's leaving. There's more crime, but I think people are still charging more for rent, which is so crazy to me.
Lordy.
But yeah, like New York you could probably wait on, like, unless you're like dying to see a Broadway play, but it's like the food is okay, but there's like good food everywhere. I think I don't think the risk of crime is worth, like, I don't know. Maybe I'm just like kind of over New York too.
Well, it's like all we've got down here is food and booze. That's it. That's our whole tourism.
Those are the foundational building blocks, I think, of any great city. Yeah.
Oh, and ghost tours, but those aren't really worth dick.
I went on a ghost tour. I was underwhelmed. Yeah, I felt like the guy was just kind of reading off his script, and he wasn't like improvising that much. Like,
yeah, exactly.
Like, oh, does anyone have any questions? And then he would just kind of go back to whatever he wanted to say.
It's like, oh, there's a possibility you could see a ghost here. Maybe. Kind of. If you squint.
I really liked the garden tour that I went on. It was a walking tour of the Garden District. And it was with the Two Chicks company. Only one of the chicks was there giving the tour. I don't know if the other one was busy doing another tour or like they don't work together. Maybe the other chick is behind the scenes. Who knows? But it was great. Like, she was somebody she wasn't from New Orleans. She went to college out there, I think Tulane or something. And it was funny because she didn't want to say slaves. Like, she was explaining the houses, like the plantation houses or whatever, like whatever the ones that were built after, I guess, they tore the plantations down or during. And she's explaining the area of the back of the house where like the slaves would live, but she wouldn't say slaves. She would say like enslaved people or like people of enslavement. And I don't know. I was like, what? I was like, what's the big deal? And I'm like, honestly, it doesn't look that bad to me. Like where they were living is nicer than almost all the apartments I've ever lived in, like more space, and they didn't have to pay rent every month. Like, they weren't sweating having to come up with $2,000 every month, or else they would like lose their housing. Honestly, it looked like a sweet deal to me. I was like, some people call it slavery. To me, I think that's job security. I think it's like, yeah, you have a solid gig, you don't have to pay rent, you always have something to do. I don't know, maybe stop complaining so much. Maybe it wasn't the worst thing ever.
Well, for the sake of any Disney spies that might be looking at us, we do not endorse slavery. We think it's horrible. We're still traumatized about it, and it's the pits, and white people are evil.
It looked all right to me. I don't know. I've had a bunch of internships where I wasn't paid shit, and I didn't get free housing or free food.
Well, that's kind of the double-edged sword of modern day liberalism, is like, it's all about talking about things that you're outraged about, but then you go ahead and do those things on the back end.
Yeah.
Like, that's...
Yeah, I mean, to me, it just looks like an unpaid internship where you get free housing and free food.
It's like, I used to work at the zoo down here, and they were really into, the whole environmentalist stuff. Like, oh, we don't have plastic straws, and we don't do this and that. And we have Earth Day. And I remember when we had Earth Day, I go out near the little flamingo enclosure thing. I had to sweep. Everybody was throwing their shit on the ground. Like, it was a pile of trash around there.
This is the New Orleans Zoo that you worked at?
Yep.
What was your least favorite part about working at the zoo?
Dealing with the people.
Like, in what way?
We had a lot of very rude old ladies who demanded
Really?
everything.
Rude old ladies at the zoo?
Yes. It's an
What were they
epidemic.
rude about? Like, did they want to pet the animals?
No. They like expected our little fast food joint areas to be very, to cater to their every whim.
Okay.
We
What
didn't
would
have
they ask
waiters
for?
or anything.
Okay. Oh, so they wanted wait service, but it was like more of a
Yes.
takeaway.
Yep.
Okay.
And I kind of get why people were kind of grouchy, because our prices are ridiculous over there, and they're getting
yeah.
more ridiculous
But it's like
every
you're
year.
eating at the zoo. Of course, it's gonna cost a little more.
Well, it's because the guy who owns that zoo is pocketing so much of that money.
Really? He was skimming off the top? Damn.
No, he just pays himself an exorbitant salary for a supposed nonprofit.
Do you know what he makes?
I don't know the specific numbers. I just know I remembered hearing his salary. I forgot it, but when I heard of it, I was like, "Oh, Jesus God!"
Like 6 figures or more?
Yeah.
Okay.
And it's like nonprofit organizations. You don't expect them to be.
You
like
assume that nobody makes any kind of a profit.
Yeah. But yeah, I remember total ridiculous segue. I first saw you on Friday Night Tights. And I think that when I started liking your comedy a lot was when I saw your Grace Randolph impression.
Oh my God, Grace. Yep, I still have the wig. Grace is great. You know what? I actually really liked her Boys movie review. No, not Boys, Bros. Her review for Bros I thought was good and quite fair. And then I was like watching it. I go, because she probably wasn't paid by this movie to do a review. That's why it's honest. That's why she's honest about how fucking bad it is. But
I remember
Grace,
I
kind of like her. I mean, she's like, there's something interesting about her.
It's the way she talks. That's kind of like, it just.
Yeah, her
makes me go,
show's got like decent production value. She's professional. A lot of people find her annoying. I get it though.
It's the voice.
Yeah.
It's all in the voice, and that's why like your impression had me on the floor, because you had that perfect pitch.
Yeah, and it's like it's hard to just straight up do someone as they are. You have to add a little bit to it. Whether it's like exaggerating emotion or like exaggerating a voice. Like for me, yeah, that's what makes it fun. Is like, okay. Because if you straight up just try to be the person, it can get boring. But you're like, okay, let's add a layer here. Like maybe she's just low key, has more crushes than she lets on, or it's a little more honest or something. I don't know, something. It's fun. She's inspiring.
Oh, absolutely. And of course, like everybody, I enjoyed being frostbit.
You enjoyed being frostbitten, okay? Because some people did not
Yes.
enjoy it, and then some people ended up losing their. Well, I'm not saying she lost her job because of me, but miraculously, I am not blocked by her. Even let me check right now.
That's incredible.
Urine. I am not blocked by this woman.
That is amazing.
Wow. She has her pronouns in her Twitter bio. Don't let the short hair fool you. She's a she, her.
We need to know for sure.
Yeah.
I would never have guessed.
Oh my God. Are people asking what your pronouns are in New Orleans?
Nope.
Okay, good.
We don't play those games for the most part.
Nice.
I know, like, I got like a cousin who, like, one of her friends does the whole they them thing, and my uncle got in trouble because, he had the audacity to call her she.
Oh, wow.
He didn't know about all this crap, though. He's old school.
Yeah, it is old school. Sometimes old racist people have the right idea.
Well, it's like, for me, it's like, when it comes to like a trans person and all that, it's like I'm totally fine calling them whatever they want to be called, but I don't buy into this non-binary bullshit. I think that's just like silly attention-getting stuff.
Non-binary to me is like the participation trophy of queerness, because you don't.
Yes.
You really don't have to prove it in any way. You don't have to physically mutilate your body. You don't have to be seen styking out or anything. Like these people have like no proof, and it's like they just make it so easy. Like anybody can be a member of your club. It kind of doesn't make it special anymore.
Exactly. And I feel like it's because everybody started kind of getting on this train where it's like, okay, like we have to be extra sensitive to this group of people. So it's like, well, everybody else is like, well, I want people to be sensitive to me.
Yeah, like, I want attention. I want to be special. What can I be? Can I be lesbian? No, I'm married. Well, shoot, what's left? I guess I'll be queer. I guess I'll be non-binary because I don't have to show any proof.
Yeah, and it's like
people have to just take you at your word and then treat you
exactly.
special.
It's like, yeah, and I know like one of the people on House of the Dragon is non-binary, and they were saying something like,
yes, the blonde girl. I forget her name.
Yeah.
And there was something where she enjoys playing female characters. Like,
yes.
I'm like, because you are one. Because you've been one your whole life. Yeah. How does she do it?
Damn.
But you know what? Like, we don't understand what the acting process is like how she gets into character for being a female. Like, that's, I don't know what she goes through.
Yeah. That's like method acting,
Right.
She's getting really into it.
She had to watch a lot of videos.
I'm sorry,
of
they.
women. Yes, they, of course.
They are getting into it. This group of people is getting into it.
Mm-hmm. The theys.
Like, I gotta say, like, you are brave being a comedian in 2022.
Aw, thanks. Well, I didn't know what else to do, and I probably would have a harder time getting a regular job at this point. I'd have to go by a different name or something. I'd have to create like a stage name just for corporate America, because I just never thought to do that. So yeah. Or it's like if I had, who knows what like the future brings. If I ever had to get another like 9 to 5, I just would like never mention it to a soul, because ultimately it every single time has led to my downfall.
Oh God.
Yeah. They get too curious, and then they end up going like, what do you mean you do comedy? You don't want to answer phones for the rest of your life? This is not your dream?
Really being a comedian, like you're on the way to being answering phones and working at a desk. Like that's the end game.
Yeah. I mean, I was always doing both at the same time until December when I lost my job. So I was like, you know what? I guess this is a good time to go full time.
I am in between day jobs at the moment, unfortunately.
Okay, cool. What do you want to be when you grow up?
I'd like to be able to do comics and YouTube full time, but until then, I gotta get money.
Yeah, just always like make sure you're dedicating a couple hours a day to it.
Yeah.
And just write down a list of all the gear that you need in order of importance, and then like little by little, like just start buying pieces and make sure you're streaming like on a regular basis, and just do a little every day.
I mean, my fancy setup is so, top of the line,
Everything looks good, I think, except for I would get a new camera.
Yeah. Literally, my buddy gave me his like very old webcam.
Okay.
And yeah.
Yeah, I think the camera I use is like $150 or something. It's like You can get a decent one
Oh
for not
shit.
that much. Yeah.
I'm only 33, but I feel like I'm 53 when it comes to tech.
Well, honestly, anything you want to learn, you can just watch a YouTube video for. Like, you can teach yourself all this stuff.
Yeah, and I went to film school, so
Oh, there you go. See? You have a leg up.
yeah, like I want to get back into film and stuff. It's just like I've had some weird transportation issues that have been kind of getting in the way of shit.
Okay.
So
Is there like a bus you can take, or like, do you guys have like the subway there?
yeah, I mean we got buses and we got streetcar.
Oh wait, probably not subway because you're in a swamp.
Yeah. Yeah.
I like the streetcar. It was fun. It's like very, I don't know, it's cutesy.
Oh, definitely. It doesn't fuck with my weird anxiety.
You get like travel anxiety or just anxiety in general?
It's mainly in cars.
Okay.
It's a weird result of my partying way too hard in college.
Why are you afraid to like drink while you're driving or something, which you're not supposed to do?
Well, I did do that back in the day.
Okay.
Unfortunately.
Interesting. What does your anxiety
And
come from?
it started when I was driving to school one day and like I was really hungover and I was going over a little overpass, like a little ramp, and while I was going up, I just started having a panic attack. Like I was getting kind of dizzy and like I was like, oh shit, I could go over the side like any moment. And it just kind of snowballed from there because I had a few fucked up incidents on bridges.
What does that mean?
I freaked out while I was driving over like the Broad City overpass, and I freaked out while I was riding in the car over the Huey P. Long Bridge.
So it's bridges. You have a thing about bridges. You're the
Yeah.
second person I know who has something about bridges, like a bridge anxiety.
Yeah, I think, but like it was weird because like before all that happened, I was just totally fine, like riding anywhere. It didn't matter. But
Okay, so
yeah,
the fear of bridges is a very common driving phobia. The formal name for it is Jeffrophobia. Anyone who has this fear knows that a bridge phobia can make your life miserable. The dread of accidentally being routed onto a bridge can inflame the fear. So what do you do?
Well, over the past few months, I have mostly been walking around and taking the streetcar.
Okay, so it's a combination of fear of driving, fear of heights, fear of water, and fear of being trapped.
Yes,
Aha.
definitely.
Okay.
Although weirdly enough, I wouldn't say no to taking a boat.
Okay. Oh my god, the advice they give is just to avoid bridges. That's it. That's the best they can do. Avoidance is our default coping mechanism.
Well, like I know, like I have a therapist who's told me like the only way out is through.
Yeah.
But I've been talking to a hypnotist who swears he's gonna be able to get rid of this, and I'm skeptical, but I'm like, shit, I'll try it.
Okay. Do you know, okay, the top scary bridges, none of them, actually, one of them is near you, of the top scariest bridges.
It's the Huey P. Long, isn't it?
The Royal Gorge Bridge in Colorado, the Mackinac Bridge in Michigan, the Bay Bridge in Maryland, the 7 Mile Bridge in Florida, the Brooklyn Bridge in New York, and in New Orleans, the Lake Pontchartrain Causeway Bridge.
Yep.
And then in San Francisco, the Golden
indeed.
Gate. Interesting.
Last time I rode on the Lake Pontchartrain Bridge was when I already was having this issue, and like I'm curled up in the back seat staring at the map on my phone, like just like don't look out the window, just looking at the little thing like, okay, we're almost there. because that bridge, it's so fucking long. Like, you can't see the end of it when you start on that thing.
Is it a thought that like you're afraid the bridge will collapse while you're on it, or is it more just like the height and the being high, like the being high up and the being sort of like?
It's the height combined with like, it's like I get this weird vertigo feeling where it's like I feel like I'm gonna get like sucked out or something.
Okay.
It's weird. But
Maybe maybe you can get like horse blinders, but for people.
I've basically told people, like, go ahead and like crack me over the head with a bottle. Like, I'm totally fine with that.
And no one's taking you up on that?
No. What kind of friends are they?
Some friends you have, yeah, they're suggesting exposure therapy, cognitive therapy, identify and desensitize reactions to videos. Oh, maybe you could watch videos of driving over bridges.
I can see that. My closest thing with that was just playing Grand Theft Auto 5 and driving around.
Okay.
Do you play any video games?
No, it's like whenever I have free time, I try to just read more or like work out or like hang out with the dogs. I just like...
That's healthy.
Even if there's a video game I liked, I wouldn't be able to bring myself to do it because I just, in the back of my mind, would be like, this is such an obvious waste of time. Like, I should be accomplishing something or learning something or like doing something like for my health or something. Like, I wouldn't be able to go through with it.
That's definitely healthy. I just like, for me, it's like as a writer, I just really like the writing in certain video games. So it's like, in a way, it kind of adds to me. It kind of adds to the craft for me.
What's an example of a video game whose writing you really like and why?
I think the best writing in a video game that I have seen is Red Dead Redemption 2.
Oh my god, that's Frost. Doesn't Frost like that game?
Oh, she stopped talking about that game to talk about sexism.
Right. It's more important.
Which told me that she really didn't play the game.
Maybe sexism is just more important.
Well, I mean, it is 1930.
Yeah. I mean, it was so sexist that she was able to, as a female, get that job. So, she must have snuck in.
Yeah. I know, like the glass
What do you like about
ceiling.
the writing?
It's like a classic Western, and it's also got elements of like, did you ever see the movie Unforgiven?
I don't think so.
It's got a lot of elements like that. That was one of Clint Eastwood's last. That was probably his last Western, and it was like in the early '90s, and it was kind of like a deconstruction of Westerns. It was like, it was a very dark story, and it had kind of a sad ending. And
How did it end?
Well, the guy the main character was basically trying to kind of redeem himself from his outlaw lifestyle in the beginning of the movie, and in the end, he just pretty much reverts back after he like kills a bunch of people at this saloon. And I guess the overall tone and theme of that movie is like very reflexive in like Red Dead 2, because it's about outlaws trying to kind of adjust to the turn of the century, because it's like it's 1899 going into 1900, and society is, everything's becoming civilized. The ways of the Old West are dying, and these characters are kind of having to cope with that because that's their lifestyle. That's what they're used to.
God, it's like somebody could totally make, and who knows if this exists already, but like a Western, but it's happening now, and people that want to hold on to like what America really is and means to them. Like, we're like all kind of living through a Western right now. Like, we're being tested, and there are forces that want us to throw away the values and things that we love about this country. And it's like,
oh yeah.
and you have to fight tooth and nail to keep it. It's like, oh, why aren't you okay with like your kids mutilating themselves and no religion, no family? You know, bring on the CRT, bring on all the bullshit. Like just let go of everything that you hold dear to.
I caught on to the trend toward wokeness super late. Like I remember I went out on a date. Like this was the first time I really encountered the woke mentality. Was I went out on a date with this woman who was black, and she just started, like, I don't even remember how we segued to this, but she just started going off on like, well, you know, like white people are like, you know, controlling the world, and like for, you know, they're the reason why people are being held down and all. And I was just kind of like,
I think that it could be an interesting experience, like to really, if someone feels vulnerable enough, able to break down why they think that, you know, and of course, if you make someone feel stressed or tell them they're wrong or they're stupid, they're going to like tighten up and be like, fuck you, bye, drive me home. But if you can just like, I wonder, it's like, did you actually ask her like what is making you feel this way? Like what makes you feel like you're being held down, or like black people or whatever, any group are being held down?
I didn't ask her because like I was really like, this whole thing just kind of came out of nowhere for me, and I was just really kind of confused. And I was mainly talking about like, you know, I had learned that throughout history, you know, it's like, yeah, white people have done some shitty things, but pretty much every group of people has done shitty things at some point. So it's like to pinpoint it on one or the other is pretty much just racism.
Right,
so
especially it's like your fellow man, like the dude you're on a date with is not the same as George Soros, okay? So it's like, do not blame regular people for the ills of the elites. We don't all know each other.
I was just really like surprised that she was saying that to me, because it's like, you know, you do realize I'm white, right? I mean, I'm not
right.
Like
it's like at least hit on white people after you pick up the tab.
Yeah, it's like, and it's like it's like if it were in reverse, if I was on a date with a black woman and I was just like, hey, you know, black people are like really bad, and you know.
Yeah, what if you were like, so what's up with all the airport fights? Why you guys gotta pull each other's weaves out every other fucking day? Why are you guys constantly looting? What's with all the murders? Why do you guys hate Asian people so much? Like, you could go off and not even be statistically wrong. But it's just because it's become culturally in vogue to shit on white people for everything.
Yeah. And that was when like, and yeah, I think the way it ended was she basically was trying to get me to admit that I had white privilege.
Oh God, who wants to do that on a date?
Term.
Jesus Christ.
I had never heard the term before. This was all new to me.
When was this date?
Like, what? Wait, what?
When was this date? When was this happening when you had never heard of the term white privilege?
It was at least 5 years ago. I want to say it may have been.
Okay,
like
that's not
7.
that late. That's not crazy. I was kind of getting on board after 2016. I was late because I didn't vote for Trump the first time, so I was late to the game too. Yeah.
Yeah, like well, I mean, I've always kind of like, you know, I don't usually follow the trends too much, so it's like this all just kind of sprung up on me because like I had heard weird black supremacist stuff way back in the day, but it was always on like the fringe of society. It was always like weird conspiracy theory radio programs and stuff.
Yeah.
But like then all of a sudden it just became mainstream.
Yeah.
I don't know how or when. But yeah, when she was trying,
right? People think it started with the Obama administration.
I would say it was always kind of there even before that, but it was always it was nobody was paying attention to it.
Yeah. So what did you say to her?
I ended up pissing her off because I said, I was thinking about it. I was like, well, I would say that I'm blessed, and she blessed, and then she got up and left.
And you can make the same argument that she's blessed. You know what I mean? Like, she probably was a good-looking girl. You can say that females, there's a thing called female privilege. You know what I mean? Like, if you are in the right place at the right time, look a certain way. No, like if you know where all the NBA players hang out, or if you know where all the finance bros hang out, like you could very easily luck into dating a super successful dude, and some would call that female privilege. Like, and then maybe you don't have to work, or maybe you don't. You know what I mean? Like, so.
Oh yeah.
It's not necessarily fair to say. I mean, I'm talking to the choir here.
I think women that have very successful OnlyFans or have very successful TikToks, I would call them privileged.
Because you think it's a looks thing, or why do you think there's privilege?
Oh yeah, it's like I've every woman I've spoken to about this sort of thing. It's like dudes like myself. When we're on like dating apps and stuff, we have to swipe a lot because it's like it takes a lot to get noticed. But women get like millions of fucking inbox shit a day. I mean, I'm sure you've probably.
Do you think it's a biological thing too? Like men are the hunters, men are the seekers, and like women typically are the receivers. Like most women probably are not like going out of their way to do the hitting on.
Definitely. Well, I mean, like I feel like they don't really have to because there's always thirsty men all over the internet.
True. That's true. But like I think every woman gets to a point where they realize like they can't just be limited to the men that are giving them attention. Like they have to kind of be intentional about like what kind of a guy they want and maybe do a little bit of seeking themselves.
Yeah. Well, yeah, I admire that.
But yeah, most of the people I've dated have been people who just like came to me, so it's easy to say.
Yeah. But they just came to you?
I met them through comedy or improv or just like being out. Like I've actually never had a serious boyfriend that I met from any kind of online dating. Like it's all been in-person meeting.
That makes sense.
Yeah, which is because I'm always out. So, and I like talking to people. So, yeah.
Hell yeah.
First boyfriend I met on New Year's Eve at like 2 a.m. Second boyfriend through comedy. Yeah, it was like we were hanging out after hours at a karaoke spot. And then third boyfriend, stand-up. Yeah, and then Frank through stand-up too.
Well, now I have to become a comedian.
Mm-hmm. Hey, I mean, male comics clean up typically. Like if you're funny, girls love that shit.
I like to think I'm funny, but there's a lot of people that would disagree with me. But
Like who?
Well, I usually have a co-host on this show, Rosetta, and she loves to.
Oh yes, I'm familiar with her foreign language tapes. She was doing so well with Rosetta Stone that she left you behind.
Yeah.
Oh, that's rough. She's like, look, I can't take any more of this. She's like, fucking call me when you're not afraid of bridges anymore. I can't take this shit. She's like, what the fuck is wrong with you? Bridges? How do you avoid bridges?
Well, that's the thing. I've been fucking stuck in this city for too damn long.
Oh, right. Do you have a fear of flying?
Yes.
Oh,
I had a fear of flying before the bridges.
So just any kind of going anywhere is a problem.
If I could get on a boat, I think I would be totally cool with that.
Okay.
If I could get and I think I'd be cool with a train.
Okay. Can you swim?
Yes.
Okay, that helps.
So, when next time you have a show up in New York, let me know like a couple months ahead of time and I'll walk there.
Okay. I'll give you a heads up.
But yeah, lordy, lordy.
That's tough, but I'm glad you're working on it and you're seeing somebody about it.
Oh yeah, you know,
Yeah.
my ego won't let me not be famous. So,
Everybody's got something.
but yeah, so you saw Bros.
I did. Hold on. I really think something you said is really interesting. You said something about your ego won't let you not be famous. What does that look like to you? Like, what is being famous? If that's something you really want, what does that look like to you?
I'd like this channel to blow the fuck up.
What does that mean to you?
I want to see this chat bar scrolling constantly.
Okay, so more people in your chat. Then what? So you just have more people watching. So what's different?
Also, I want my books to do the whole 6 figures.
Your books? Okay, so that's just money. So you just want more money and more eyeballs on you. But then what?
Then I want people to leave good, well, not good, but I mean, leave reviews.
Okay, so
more
praise,
interaction.
validation. Again, none of this has to do with what you're creating. Like, your goals are all what comes back to you. And like notice that, right? If the things you want all have to do with stuff that's out of your control, because you know what, you don't have any control over how many people are in your chat. You have no control over how many subscribers, followers you have. You have no control over how many books you sell. That means you're putting your goals and your validation, the things you want, it's all out of your hands. You see how that's like a little bit flawed? If you can try and shift some of your goals into things that you have control over, like your output, what you create. I want to do more videos about this topic, or I want to stream just more times. If you focus on what you have control over, which is your input, right? What you're reading, what you're researching, what you're creating, then you might feel more fulfilled. But if you leave like, oh, I'm not going to change like what I'm doing, I just want more things to come to me, it's like it's out of your hands, which might frustrate you over time.
No, definitely. I definitely see that. But I am doing more like than I was, you know what I mean? Like I'm trying to add more content to my channel and all, and I'm reaching out to like comedians from New York to come on, you know.
Okay, that's good. Yeah, as long as it's like your goals are measurable, you know, like let's say I did 3 interviews last month, and then you can be like, okay, for the next 2 months I'm going to try to do like 10 or something, and like just keep track of it that way. If it's 6 months goes by and you don't have the views, the money, the followers, at least you can look at your output and be like, oh, look, I've created this much more, and you can feel like good about that, instead of, because it's easy to feel frustrated if it's just like what is coming back at you.
Yeah. Yeah. I do get frustrated.
Mm-hmm. Comedy is definitely not a thing to do if you are like in it for the money, you know, because it's a long fucking grind.
Well, for me, it's not like, I'm not like, oh, I just want money. It's more like I want money to be able to do more.
Okay.
It's like, because like with like producing my comics and all, like I hire an artist and like a letterer and all that, and it's like all of that adds up. So it's like for my last for Outlaw Nights issue 1, I set my goal at about like 6,500, and we managed to clear a little over 8K, and that was really good. But like I think I like broke even, and so it got to the point where like now for issue 2 I have to like build up all over again, and it would just be nice to have a little extra to be able to keep going with it.
But it sounds like it's already a success, because like for years I would do comedy and be in the red. Like it's paying for mics, you're paying to do shows. So the fact that like you had a project where you weren't in the red on it is a big deal.
Yeah. Well, shit.
So there you go. You're doing it.
Yeah. Well, thank you so much. I mean, you know, I appreciate the hell out of it.
No, it's good. It's I can understand like you want things to happen right away, but I think I have the benefit of like for years like spending a lot of money to do what I love. So it's like when you notice it more. Oh wow, I broke even. That's a big deal. That's a success.
Okay.
Yeah, so any little bit after that is, and that's the thing is like we all work day jobs. We all, you know, work to fund the things that we love, and it's just, you know, little by little you're gonna get there.
Well, thank you. Shit. Lordy.
That's what I'm here for. Just building everybody up.
Giving me solid advice and supporting homosexuality through your movie going.
I'm the biggest supporter of homosexuals.
How are those orgies?
To look at a bit much. It was a bit jarring. I didn't feel like I needed to see it to understand. Like, and Billy Eichner, like you would from listening to him, it's almost like you have to watch these gay orgies or else gay people can't exist. Like you have to look at it. You have to like it. It's like, dude, no.
Look at it.
People don't want to watch a gay orgy. Yeah, and we don't need that to understand your people.
God. I remember I saw a trailer for it like way before he did his little outburst. I saw a trailer for that movie, and I just remembered I was looking at it, I'm like, this is funny. This is comedy. I'm not getting it.
I didn't even see a trailer. I hadn't even heard of the movie until I was being shamed for not seeing it. I was like, all right, I guess this is what I'm doing. Alrighty.
God. So that's the key. If you ever feel like, you know, like not enough people are coming to the shows, not enough people are backing your book, just go out online and tell them, look, you need to support this, because if you don't, you're an istophobe of some sort. Pick
That's
one.
how you have to shame people. You have to like figure out what victim group you can belong to. And then if you don't belong to a victim group, just say you're non-binary. And then whatever you do or create, you have to say what you don't like. That like I can't believe you're going to be anti non-binary people and not buy my book or watch my thing. And then people go, oh my God, really? I didn't know. And you go, yeah, exactly. And that's how
100%.
That's how we get through life, people.
I mean, shit. Okay, so diabetic, car anxiety.
You're diabetic too? Okay.
Yeah.
That's fun.
Oh, hell yeah. We diabetics are a proud race.
You're a triple threat. Okay.
And hell, I'll be non-binary, sure.
Why not? Why not? You could start your own victim group, like non-binary people who are afraid of bridges.
I'm a Z-Zimzer.
Yeah. Bridge self. I see some new pronouns coming.
I love new age pronouns, because they're not pronouns. They're nouns with pronoun prefixes attached to them.
Look, this sounds transphobic. I don't like that you're breaking this down. It feels like you're trying to delegitimize the whole thing, and I'm not going to stand for it.
I need to write a 5 tweet thread long apology and speech, and I need to talk about the organizations I support.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's called Doing Better.
Yes. Be better.
Be better.
God almighty. I just remember when I was a kid, I used to think like, you know, once we get into like the 2020s and all that, it's like life's gonna be awesome. Like we're gonna have so much shit going for us, and the culture. That's
pretty cool that you were even forward thinking like that. I can't remember ever as a kid thinking about the 2020s. Like I just was like, what? The year 2000? What's gonna happen?
Yeah.
And that was it.
No, it was just like the 90s went so well. I just thought that society was going to get even cooler.
It was gonna be like futuristic, yeah. Flying cars, but everything
And
else would be
then
the same.
somewhere around 2010, we just hit the brakes and started.
Yeah, fucking shit up.
Jesus Christ.
What are we gonna do about it?
Well, you know, that's part of what helped inspire me to get into the indie comic scene and stuff was like, it's like, let's start making entertainment outside the norm. And from everything I've seen, like, it looks like indie entertainment is getting bigger than like mainstream.
Did you buy one of Eric July's comic books?
I didn't back it, but like I am a fan of his, so it's like I've been watching his progress and I'm blown away by it.
I just got mine. I can't remember how long ago I ordered it.
Yeah,
I might not ever read it, to be honest. I just like that I have it.
Oh yeah,
here.
I mean,
yeah,
it's good to support, and I've been watching his YouTube videos for a while now, and he's ballsy.
Mm-hmm.
And I always enjoyed how, like, anytime some asshole tries to call him out on something, he decides, well, I'm gonna bring you on my show and let's actually talk this out. Like, I don't think I would have been able to do that. Like,
yeah, I like that he's not afraid of conflict in that way. That's pretty cool. It's inspiring.
I'm a chill guy. I like to just chill out and have fun conversations. And
by fun, you mean like you don't like conflict?
I don't.
Yeah.
I'm not good at it.
Were you a middle child?
I was an only child.
Okay.
I'm used to being the star.
Okay. Okay. You have only child syndrome. That's what's going on here. I'm putting it together.
There's so much complexity.
There's a lot to break down.
Yes. And it's good that you come on, you know? You're more than welcome to come back on anytime, and you can be my counselor.
Ooh, okay, good. Yeah, I didn't mean to do that. I think it just sometimes happens. Like, I listen to people say things.
I don't mind it.
And I hear a nugget, and I'm just like, okay, let's dig into that. Like, what's behind that?
I don't mind it.
Okay.
Hell yeah. I'm a fan of your comedy, so, you know, you can.
Yeah, thanks for coming to the show. That was fun. I like those New Orleans shows. And the weather was so nice.
Yeah, which is bizarre for this town. It's either really hot or really cold. There's like one day out of the year where it's perfect.
As soon as I got off the plane from New Orleans, it was immediately 20 degrees colder. And I was like, no.
I have never experienced northern weather.
Oh, wow. You're not missing out. I ate like 2 bags of beignets while I was in New Orleans. And I was only in New Orleans for like maybe 4 days. I went to Cafe du Monde, and then somebody, I forget who, said you have to go to Cafe Beignet. And I remember it was the morning I was supposed to fly away, like catch a flight. I waited in line for a half hour for Cafe Beignet. And I was like, I might not make it. You know, I was like waiting, and then I get the notification your flight's been delayed half hour. I was like, fucking perfect. It's meant to be. And I'm like just running back to the hotel with my bag of beignets. I'm like, the powdered sugar's like fucking flying everywhere. I got my coffee, which is also flying everywhere. And then I get the Uber. And like Uber hates when you bring in food and drinks. And I'm just trying to be like as low key as possible. So I drank my coffee, but I had the beignets in my bag. And then I waited until after I went through security at the airport to like eat the rest of the beignets. But
beignets always end up all over you.
Yeah, I got the sugar everywhere.
Yeah, you can't escape it.
It's fun though. It's worth it. They're so good. They're so fucking good.
I have never been to Cafe Beignet. I've been to Du Monde, and I've been to a place out in Metairie, the Morning Call.
Okay.
Those are the 2 beignet places that I know the most.
Yeah, well, this place was recommended to me, and they were pretty good. But again, like even a bad beignet, I will happily choke down because like I'm just about it, you know.
Hell yeah.
I'm about that life.
So I know you said you can only really be on for about an hour.
Yeah, I do have another thing to run to, but if you would like me to break down you a little bit more psychologically, we can do that for a few more minutes.
Okay. You know.
I'm just kidding.
I'm down.
Has it been an hour already? Oh man, that flew by.
Yeah. Time flies when you're having fun.
It does. It does fly by. Well, I'm not sure when the next time I'll be in New Orleans will be, but I know I will be. If you have any listeners in Connecticut, I'll be at the Bridgeport Stress Factory next Thursday, October 20th. Then I'll be at the Orlando Improv with the Comedians of the Compound on October 27th. And then I got a weekend in Long Island coming up. I'll be at the Brokerage in Belmore November 4th and 5th. Then I'll be in Jersey November. Let's see here. Okay, I'll be in we got the Compound Media Censored TV show in New York City November 10th. Then I'm at the New Brunswick Stress Factory November 19th. And then I got a weekend in San Diego coming up at the end of February. And that's at the Mic Drop Comedy Club in San Diego. So check it out, guys. For tickets, go to ChrissieMayr.com. Check out Friday Night Tights Fridays at 4:30 p.m. Eastern on Nerdrotics channel. Check out the Simpcast Sundays at 9 p.m. Eastern on my YouTube channel. And then I have my show on Compound Media, The Wet Spot, Mondays at 7 p.m. Eastern on Compound Media.
God damn. You are busy.
Trying to be busy.
Oh, by the way, I think on one of those shows, don't you have porn stars on or something?
Yes, on Wet Spot. And I've also had them on my interview show too.
Let them know that there's a guy named Ben in New Orleans who is single. And
that won't creep them out at all, but I will let them know.
Well, I have a particular set of skills that I think they would enjoy.
So any porn star, you want me to just hook you up with just any old porn star?
I mean, preferably not male, but you know.
Okay. Do you have a height, weight requirement?
Not so much.
No? Oh, okay. You into all that. Okay.
I'm in I like big booties and I like big boobs.
Okay. It sounds like you're okay with big everything.
Depends.
Okay.
Depends on how it's distributed, you know.
Okay. All right. I'm here for it. Sounds good. All right. I'll put in a good word, Ben. I'll send them your way.
Hell yeah. And thank you so much, ladies and gentlemen, for joining us. I am, of course, Ben, a.k.a. the Fuseboxx. You can find me on Twitter at Nights Outlaw. You can also find me on Instagram at Outlaw Nights. And you can find me on Facebook under my real name, Ben Fuselier, Fuselier. And yeah, click on the link in the description of this video. Sign up for Outlaw Nights Genesis of a Renegade Part 2. We are currently at 125 email signups, and we're going to be launching this thing on midnight of November 1st. So get in on it, because on that email list, you're going to get access to exclusive perks that you're not going to be able to get on the main campaign. And so we only got about 3 weeks left there, so get on it. And if you like anything we had to say, go ahead and hit the like button. Go ahead and hit the subscribe button. Be sure to hit the bell for notifications. If you didn't like anything we had to say, hit the dislike button.
Hit it anyway. Hit the like button anyway.
Or better yet, hit the dislike button if you liked it also. Because, you know, at the very least, it gets us more traction.
Yeah.
And we won't be able to see it.
Hit something.
Hit all the buttons at once.
Just mash your palm into the keyboard.
But thank you so much for joining us, ladies and gentlemen, and we will talk to you all later.
Bye.